All right. Hey, it's Scotch Test Dummies. We got us Rittenhouse Rye, bottled in Bond.
Boom, bottled in Bond, baby, bottled in Bond.
What do you have in your notes?
I got a Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse Rye. Let's test it.
Test it!
All right, that's Rittenhouse.
It
Bart
is
just
Rittenhouse.
kept going. Autocorrect kicked in.
No, I'm sure it was me. I was sitting there trying it, and I'm just like, I know I'm spelling it wrong, but whatever.
We know.
Yeah.
We know what you mean.
I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty bad with names. Like, if I even meet you in person, you tell me your name, I'll probably forget it.
I've got to run into you like two or three. If I run into you 2 or 3 times in a short period of time, I'll remember your name.
You know what I figured out what I'm doing? I am like, when I'm meeting you, I'm really listening to what you're saying and kind of at the same time assessing you. And I don't really pay attention like, I am Jimmy. My name's Jimmy. Good to meet you, Jimmy. Because I hear that's the technique.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to say your name back a few times and I'll lock it in or associate Jimmy with Jimmy Carter. And then every time I see you, I see Jimmy Carter. I'm really just saying, hey, who is this guy? Who is this gal? I'm meeting you. We're talking. I want to have a great conversation with you. So I put Rittenhouse. I knew it was wrong. I thought, I'm tasting the whiskey. I'm not going to do stuff.
Rittenhouse.
He just saw my notes and was like, you got it wrong. I'm like, I know.
I got a new shirt.
I love this shirt. It's a genre mix. It's called Pause.
Pause. I got to stand up so you can see it. I need a taller chair that I can sit on so you guys can see my shirts.
You need to be a man. What you need to do is be a big man and sit up straight. What are you going to throat punch me? You're going to punch me in the neck? Clap! Oh!
Yeah, he was a man.
What? Oh, who's the man now? Who's the man now? Sit up straight now. Oh, you got me right in the neck. Sorry.
All right, Rittenhouse Rye. We came upon this. I had not paid attention to it or even noticed it until we did Sazerac Rye.
Right.
And I don't know how many people we had tell us.
Tons.
You got to do. They preferred Rittenhouse, or you got to try the Rittenhouse also.
Yeah.
When we first did Sazerac, we got it for $22. Killer deal. I'd
Great
buy
deal.
that up if I could still find it for
Steal.
that price. And the Rittenhouse is, I think it's $25. Same range, $23 to $25. So the same range as the Sazerac was.
And Sazerac's like doubled now in price.
Yes. Yeah, if not more. Yeah.
And I like it.
This is 100 proof, 50%,
Love that.
bottled in Bond.
And Bottled and Bond is cool. Basically, like late 1800s, 1897, I think, is what you pulled up on there because we couldn't remember the exact date. What was
You
happening?
don't remember Rittenhouse,
But I
you
remember
remember
1897. That's right. I remember 1897. 1897, what was happening was distillers are making a good whiskey. It's going out to be shipped around the United States or wherever they shipped it. And the folks buying them, as they bottled or wanted to extend the bottles, they're dumping in God knows what to the whiskey. It said sometimes tobacco spit.
Ugh.
Kerosene was added to it. Yeah, and basically they're cutting the whiskey because they could double, triple their profit. And the idea was the distillers said, hey, we got this great product. The government agreed. They came up with Bottled and Bond. The warehouses have to be like they're specially checked or rated, or they're bonded too. They actually started doing the tape over the cap so that if you sold it, I'm the distiller and I sell it to you to distribute it. If you break the seal, the end user will know. And then they also said it had to be in cask for at least 4 years. So you're getting a good age statement. What was interesting was I was reading in the Whiskey Advocate, they had this great issue on just bringing fun back into whiskey, but they talk about Bottled and Bond and say it almost died when the whiskey crash kind of happened. It almost went away, but it's a very nice way to show that there is a set guaranteed language and legal standard.
We know there's no tobacco spit in this whiskey.
Well,
that was there
right.
before we broke the seal anyway.
Yeah, at least then. But now you know that it's been 4 years. You know that it's met all these governmental regulations. It had to be a certain proof as well, if I remember right. Not 50, but I thought it had to be a certain proof too.
I don't remember.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. But they're saying there's been a resurgence. And we were told to try it out. I mean, multiple people. What do you got on the nose?
I got, here's my notes. Rye, It came up, it grabbed 2 nose hairs and yanked them out.
I got a sharp rye with a shallow clove.
Huh.
So, in other words, the rye's right out in front, but as you nose in a little bit further, you're going to get a little bit of clove on there.
It's very spicy.
It is.
A cracked black pepper spicy.
Uh-huh.
But I also have a little bit of buttercream that I got when I sat down with
You
it.
got to be a little careful when you nose this one. I'll continue to come in and dig a little deep with the inhalation, and I'll be like, oh, because you will get more than you planned on. It's got to be that 50%.
It's very aromatic.
It is.
But
And I've got some great tasting notes here. I'll let you go first since you're tasting now. You poured a pretty thick pour too.
sorry, I'm sure it'll work out. Wow, that rye is on the forefront.
Yeah.
Consumes your taste buds.
Great.
Much like a heavily peated Scotch would do.
Yeah.
This rye is doing that's in this.
Yeah, this is a rye. This is Mr. Rye. I've got burst in strong with the rye flavor. Caught me off guard. I'm literally writing on here. Caught me off guard. Good to great mouth coating. It just envelops, like you said, my mouth. Lingering aftertaste of caramel. And then you go right back in for another burst of rye. And very, very pleasing. Very expected rye. Again, if I had a noob come over, no, I don't mean that in a bad way, a person new to rye, they'd say, I don't know about rye. I'd say this is a strong rye, but you're going to know what rye is after I let you try this.
Sure. Dill seasoning, not dill pickle, but the dry dill seasoning. Creamy. And then I've got my notes starting with water, which I just added. So
yeah. I did the water as well, but this is another one of those. I love it neat, but this is one I'll put an ice cube in instead of just a drop of water. Again, I like the ice cube because I can sip at it as that cube melts, and I get subtle transitions of the flavor, and it's at that higher ABV. On the nose with the ice cube, I got a little bit of iodine and a sweet vanilla on the nose.
no iodine, but sweet vanilla I would agree with. And then that water brought out the black pepper to me.
Okay.
A little bit more of the spiciness comes out when you add the water.
I've got the reverse. I see what you're saying though. It's a little bit less of that rye burst and a little bit more of a spicy pepper. I see what you're saying. I've got in my notes the cube, and that's why just a touch of water, I think you're right. You get a little bit more of the pepper, it tames the rye down. With an ice cube, it tamed it down a bit to a very nice and sweet brown sugar with a rye background. Preferred method for me, although I'm going to sip at it a couple times neat, I'm definitely going to throw an ice cube into this.
I think what it is, it seems spicier without the water, but I think that's the 50% ABV coming through. And that rye is much more present. You add the water, and it brings that rye down, brings that black pepper spice out a little bit more, just bringing that alcohol burn down just a little bit. I think so. It's that black pepper standing out a little bit more. It's not as sweet as the Sazerac.
Right. And we found some folks that don't like the sweetness of the Sazerac. And that's why they told us, go try this. Now, I like the sweetness of the Sazerac. I could see these both being on the shelf together. They're like buddies. They're like you and I hanging out. Kind of similar, but yet different. Did you score it?
Yes, I did.
I know you scored it. They got it bottled and bonded under U.S. government supervision to meet the strictest requirements. So, interesting. I've got it as an 89. It's right there. I got to admit, I was really surprised by this.
Yeah, especially we'll talk about it. Is it worth it? But I think side by side, I think I do prefer the Sazerac, though. Just that little bit more of that sweetness I like with it. But definitely good. Definitely delicious.
So you mentioned, is it worth it?
Is it worth it? $25.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bingo. I've got to get me some of this. This was the bottle you bought. I got to get some of this because it's just that rye forefront on an unbelievable price. And I'm with you. The bottled and bond is a nice statement of what the government's got on it for the rules that are with it. I mean, it's just laid out.
Now, I will tell you, too, I went and I had not seen Rittenhouse before, hadn't heard of it, or it was on the bottom shelf. I mean, it was tucked away down. I think maybe they had maybe 2 bottles of it. But it was in there, like I say, on that bottom shelf where you just don't look a lot of the times.
Yeah. If you don't like the rye, avoid this. If you like rye, grab it.
That should be up on the top shelf, really.
In our region, I want you to keep it hidden because I want to get it. I don't want to pop in after he's got it for a great price and they go, you know what? This thing's like $49. I'm like, God dang it. What are you doing to him? Quit that.
Yep.
Stop it.
You should walk in there, though, on the top shelf. It's like $80, $80, $90, $70, $25. What's this for $25? That's a damn good whiskey for $25.
Damn good whiskey is a perfect adjective. Damn good whiskey. That should be the title. Rittenhouse. Damn good whiskey.
Woo!
Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro.
Dummies.